looks like on Twitch as well. We've got a slight issue on YouTube, or really a full-on issue. Just trying to get that figured out. And it looks like now we've got YouTube running as well, I think. I have a feeling the quality may not be quite as good on YouTube. But that's just gonna have to be what it is, because I'm done solving bugs for the day. So let me just get the chat back up and we'll get rolling. Honestly, don't have a ton planned for you guys. Really going to be down to take questions. I'm going to talk about the new stuff for sure. Really kind of what you get out of the update video. Probably a little bit more real and fresh. Maybe a little bit slower. I talk kind of slow. I may even have a beer 3. And again, I'm not going to be fixing any bugs tonight, so you guys can tell us about them, but that'll probably be the extent of it, and we'll get them fixed in the next couple days. I am really pumped though that we've got this one out finally. This was really a grueling one. As many of you guys know, my wife and I had our second baby girl in December, and woo, the second one is a little bit extra work. And yeah, it's been exhausting. This patch went for like 3 months or something like that. It's been exhausting. We got some stuff going on internally that we haven't really been talking about much, but gonna talk a little bit more about tonight. And then there's also just quite a whole lot in the patch as well. And I screwed up too. We should have got this patch out a good bit earlier than we did. We should have gotten it out with tutorial earlier. But thank you very much. It's awesome. I love, our kids are great. It's a lot of work though. Especially to try to code 12, 14 hours as well. A way you can see what's on screen. You should be able to see my screen here without any issues, I would hope. Anyway, there's a ton in this patch. We should have probably gotten it out with just the tutorial and the fixes about a month ago, but hey, you live and you learn, and we've learned a lot in this process, and we continue to learn every week pretty much. So that's just kind of how it goes. Hopefully, see somebody asking if there's any audio. Everybody's hearing audio, I hope. You guys hearing audio? Oh yeah, Britt, you can pull up, this is the SimAirport roadmap I've got up. You can, the URL's the same for the public version, but this is available for everyone. You can vote on any of these items. You can add comments to them. We read them. Some of the comments are, it's not the most active place, but we follow this more than you might think. Yeah, pull up. It's the roadmap. Okay, good. So we've got audio working everywhere. Hopefully, if not, Michael, jump in and let me know. But I think we've got audio working everywhere. Anyway, if you guys have any questions while I'm kind of talking through this, I'm doing a little bit of work. If you guys have any questions though, stop me at any point. Ask away. Happy to talk through anything. Sounds like got audio over there. Good deal. We even got some people on. This is my record for Twitch now. I think we got 5 viewers just on Twitch. Awesome. Welcome. I'm gonna be jumping in game pretty quick. I just want to get the roadmap updated. It's the little stuff like this that, you know, there's always something. And then, yeah, so just to talk through this real quick though. Yeah, we finally got the frickin' tutorial out. It was a beast. It's awesome. There's actually, that kind of leads right into something I'm going to talk about a little more later on tonight, but we've been on a little bit of a hiring spree, and we have one of the newest developers in chat with us tonight. I think he's on, I know he's on YouTube. His name is Michael. And he actually single-handedly got the tutorial not only written but polished and, I mean, designed everything. He really single-handedly took it start to finish. Michael has been awesome. He's been with us about 6 months now. We actually recorded an interview with him, and I did not get the editing finished to play it today. Unfortunately, despite my best efforts, it just didn't happen. He's not the only new hire. We've got a couple new hires, a couple of additional new hires as well. But that's been a real help because, like I said, with 2 kids and the wife, and trying to keep this train really moving down the track at the same speed, we'll take all the hands we can get. Really excited to have him on board. We've also got Joshua is new. We'll talk a little bit more about him and what he's been working on later on. But Michael actually pulls a lot of weight this cycle. The tutorial, he took on the staff scheduling. And that's how you know he really knows his stuff, because the staff scheduling is like serious algorithm stuff. I was just editing the interview a little bit ago. You're not going to hear it, but unfortunately. But we were both talking about it during the interview, and he mentioned, you know, at first it was like every day he and I had to go through the code almost line by line. It was some fairly tough stuff, but not only did he really knock this one out and knock it out of the park, but he got some awesome experience hands-on with the code base. So I think you guys are probably going to be seeing a little bit of an acceleration on really just kind of systems. You kind of started to see it towards the end of this cycle even, I think. He also knocked out cafes and retail, which is a serious milestone to finally, I think, happy with where this has gotten to. It's, you know, it still has a little ways to go. I saw a thread just the other day about inventory. We set it up to handle inventory, and we didn't want to get too deep with retail when there's plenty of other things going on in the airport. But it was a solid start, and really more than a start. I mean, we got chefs in. It's really a fantastic, I mean, for somebody who's just been working with us for the handful of months. Yeah, Michael's awesome. You're gonna be seeing him around the forum. He's a tycoon geek, and I'm gonna finish editing the interview with him, and we'll get it posted on YouTube sometime. We'll shoot for this week. But yeah, he's been awesome. And then we've got, you know, just a handful of, like, the clone tool is great. You're gonna see me probably use it as a crutch tonight. It just makes a game a lot more fun to play. Let's see, Underground Roads. I'm actually surprised. This one has been incredibly surprising to me. I've heard more feedback saying this was a game changer than I have many of the other features that I thought were the game changers. So I'm really pumped to have this one out. It was a little quirky at first. It's still a little bit quirky, but I'm pumped. The reception for this has been fantastic. We slipped some construction stuff in towards the end. A lot of this was kind of structural, but it really allows for a lot of nice quality of life stuff, like being able to draw zones over the top of construction, pending construction. You're rarely going to be seeing pending construction, blocked by pending construction validation failures now. We got a little bit more transit capacity in. You can now build multiple light rail platforms. And I see a question from the Steam stream, multiple drop-off sections. This is actually being worked on right now. We're going to be removing the current plan, at least. So let me just make that clear, is you never know. We get halfway into developing a feature. Sorry, I gotta have my Dr. Pepper. We get halfway into developing a feature and it just doesn't feel right, or it's got performance issues. You never know. But right now, the current plan is we're going to remove drop-off sections, drop-off zones entirely, and we've got a new bus stop. And you can place down your bus stops, and then you actually can draw out bus routes between them, and you get to set whether each stop along the route is a drop-off, a pickup, or both. And so you can do all kinds of, really you can do a whole lot of stuff with it. Yeah, it really is. It's cool. It's a little complex. We're still kind of working on the UI, UX. And that is another one of our new developers heading that one up. It's his first project. It's coming along pretty darn well. And his name is Chris. You've seen him in the forum before. He was playing the game, and we noticed he kept finding bug fixes without even having the code. And after a couple of bug fixes that we just copy and pasted in, we reached out, and so he's just working with us part-time right now, but we've got our eyes open trying to see if we can steal him away from his day job here in the future. But that is exactly what we've got going on for the drop-off stuff. Hopefully that answers your question. It looks good. It's prettier too, just to see real bus stops instead of zones. So you got a couple questions in YouTube. Yeah, it really is. It's the other half of multiple floors. Sometimes I think as developer, just kind of get blind to it. To me, it's yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it'd be as big a deal. It really is, though. You see a lot more realistic airports. Most of the airports we've been seeing here lately seem like they're, I think of Minneapolis-St. Paul, where you've got the underground light rail type thing. It feels a lot more realistic. You control everything. Cruise altitude decisions. That can't be. Oh, it's a play on words. Okay, I recall writing that. No, the cruise altitude is not a variable. You can't control the cruise altitude, but the idea is you control your whole strategy from, how you set up your drop-offs to whether you're going to offer cheap fuel or very expensive fuel. But no, you can't control the cruise altitude. Although we do simulate the altitude of the aircraft, and yeah, I almost maybe don't know why, but anyway, I'm gonna get through these last few, and then I'm gonna get in game, and I'll answer some more of these questions if Michael doesn't beat me to them. Let's see. We got outlines on agent sprites. They look a lot better now. I'm quite curious to see if you guys are happy with them at this point, or if we're still demanding the old agent sprites. It looks much better. I will say, we talked internally about the old agent sprites a good bit in the last week or so. I can't decide if we had the old sprites in game. I can't decide if I'd play with the old ones or the new ones. The old ones are kind of cute, but yeah, I'll talk more about the old agent sprites here in a little bit. We got higher resolution for flight schedule in. You can now set these down to the minute instead of being in 15-minute intervals. It really, some people not loving it on Edge. I really love it. Yeah, I hear the crickets as well. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to put in the old sprites. I really like the higher resolution. You're gonna see me use it tonight. I like to be able to get in a little bit, like if you can get a 7-minute gap between flights instead of space them out to 15 minutes, it really equates to a whole lot more control. Some people, I think, they just kind of prefer to see everything on the 15s, but you know, that's just how games like this are. You get all kinds of different play styles, and we do our best to accommodate all of them. All right, so I mean, that's the gist. You guys saw the notes, though. There's a ton of notes. There was a little bit of everything and just a whole lot of stuff in general. A little bit later on, I'll probably, and really while I'm playing, I'll talk about some of these. But I'm itching to build an airport. I think the last time I sat down and played for an hour straight was probably the last time I streamed, which is December probably. So I am going to jump in game. Hopefully I've got the new default patch. And let's see if we got, so baggage handling, limit on producers capped at 5. I don't believe there is a way to increase the limit. We've talked about it. We talked about adding a way to put, I think we talked about a research item to allow you to increase that limit. But no, I believe as of now it is capped at 5, so you end up having to use second hubs. That's, yeah, I want to say we talked about internally changing that, and we just never got it done. I know it's frustrating. I recall last time I streamed running into it and finally realizing why it's a common complaint. That said, it's a fairly easy fix too, so it's really just a matter of us not paying good enough attention probably and getting it done. Sweet. So I've got the new default, which feels darn good. I am so glad. Got this out. Alright, so I'm going to play on Sandbox because I'm not that great at SimAirport. I'm really not. I know how it works, but I'm not that great. I don't want to go bankrupt on stream, but I am going to try to remain profitable. So if I'm doing anything terribly stupid, let me know. Otherwise, my goal is going to be, I'm going to try to hit perfect flight bonuses. And that's right, stuff is expensive. Let's see. Let's get a couple flights scheduled. Yeah, you know, last time I played, I was not very good at it, but I really enjoy it. That's why, that's why we made this game, is I really like this kind of game. It's definitely a little tougher to enjoy. after you work on it 14 hours a day. But I do. I enjoyed it last time I played. I almost forget how to play. We have special shortcuts to automatically accept flights and stuff like that, so that when we're testing or debugging, we can quickly get going. And so some of these UIs, we don't dog food them maybe as much as we probably should. See, I don't even know offhand the packs counts, which is bad, but and this is what I'm supposed to do, right? I should get a gate right away, second gate, and just stack flights up. I'm not even sure if I need a second gate. I should probably get funds moving, huh? I don't want beach. Let's see. You guys may have to guide me through the early game here, but I'll show you some new stuff on the late game. See, sky bridges. Yeah, it keeps getting brought up. So one thing I've been playing with, I think it was last weekend. I was showing it to Michael. I think you didn't think it was so hot, but I thought it was really cool. Was windows, roof windows. So it's along the lines of sky bridges. The reason I mention it is it requires very similar, basically once we have one implemented, the other will be almost identical. But it will allow you to drag out windows on the roofs, and then you'll be able to see your passengers from the rooftop above. I think it's really very aesthetically pleasing, but it'll add to environment, and it'll also break up the roofs a little bit. It'll just look nicer. We'll probably give you some other roof customization options too. It came in through an emailed suggestion, and it seems like a no-brainer. I know a lot of people really like to design their stuff, so that's definitely something that we want to do. I'm gonna go ahead and expand my security here. Try to keep it under about 100. All said and done. I probably should have done this first, huh? As far as sky bridges, though, we'll consider it. I don't want to go too far on it. It's hard to make it look good, is the problem. It's hard to make it so that you can really tell what level it's on from below and above when it's something that extends up like that and doesn't have an underneath foundation guaranteed. It kind of just makes it confusing from a UI UX point of view. Definitely, I'm intrigued by the idea, but yeah, I'm just not sure if we can make it work well. At least feel good. We had the same concern though with multiple floors when we originally put them in. We were afraid it was going to be like really overwhelming, and I was afraid of that even after we had it all, like the first implementation, even until really almost until the first edge deploy, and it just turned out it felt right. It ended up feeling right. I love it to this day. It's always kind of been my dream to play a game like this that you could build up. And the only game that as a kid I played like that was Sim Tower, and really it was basically horizontal because there was no depth. See, do we have I don't have the Twitch chat up. Let me see if I can get that up. Maybe if Michael can you maybe see if maybe man the Twitch chat? I don't have it up. EAM has been on the back burner quite some time. Yeah, so EAM flights, we implemented, I believe, all of the functionality to handle it last cycle, except for flights overlapping midnight. That part should be pretty trivial now with some of the other changes we've made to the flight scheduler. My feeling, though, is really I don't want to put it in and then take it out. And by that I mean I know what I would like it to be used for. And so if we implement it now as like a research or something, and then we end up in another cycle taking it out, then I'm not sure if... I hate to do that. It tends to be the players, myself, probably more than anyone, are change. We're all averse to change. And so I hate to put it in and then take it right back out later. So this is a new feature this cycle is the, you can actually now set exact priorities on all of these, on all construction projects, and you can do the same on maintenance, but I don't have the research yet. I'm gonna get some offices going here soon so that I can. Under offices 5x5. Maybe no minimum. See, so now you can now do this where you can place that door before the wall is even constructed, even though you've got construction there. RD for airport catering. We actually have not really talked about it much. It's difficult to add in aircraft services because of the timing issues. What happens is, I mean, this has been talked about a lot on the forums. I know people don't love it or think there's something we could do better about it, but there's no real easy answer that we've seen yet. If you have it here tonight, I would love to say we solved it. But basically the scaling of movement speed, so these guys can only walk so quickly and still be simulated. I mean, we can make them faster to a point, but you can't make them infinitely faster. So it's, you know, it's kind of tough. We can add more gate services, but it essentially ends up slowing down turnaround times unless you have it perfect. It's kind of like a logarithmic worst case scenario as we add more. Your best case scenario will never get better. It's always going to be arrive on time or early, depart on time or early. If we add, the more services we add, the worse your worst case scenario ends up looking. So it's open to it for sure. I don't know that it's probably the best idea. I kind of think we should be looking at cargo more. Yeah, and I see you mentioned, I think cargo fits a little bit more in with the puzzle type stuff that we've got going. Not to say it's a puzzle game so much as it's a little bit more systems oriented. But that's just kind of my feeling. I also can't say I've given it. Nameable taxiways. I actually would love to do that. I'm not sure how we might do it. I would love to do it. I turned it off right before the stream started, but I actually listen to air traffic control on a scanner much of the time that I'm writing code. I'm a little bit of a dork, or a lot of a dork. But I would love to be able to sync everything up. We have audio set up right now, where we got the sound, and hopefully get it implemented soon, for the ability for these aircraft to actually request the correct clearances and everything. See you later, Britt. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, and we I think gonna do some streaming tomorrow too during the day, so probably I suppose evening if we're on that side of the pond. But no, thank you definitely for stopping by. Where what? I have no idea. I mean, I should continue drinking my beer. The clone tool. The clone tool actually is restricted to indoors. Yeah, Britt. There's a Twitter. It's SimAirport. Definitely look us up. We post everything on there. And as I say that, I wonder if we posted if we got the stream posted. But if we haven't, we will. Let's see. So the clone tool is. Oh, gotcha. We'll probably try and start. I'm gonna say we'll stream for a couple hours tonight still. Well, we'll see if this stays profitable. Might go for a handful of hours, but probably shoot for around 10 a.m. tomorrow. Kind of my thought. Let's see. Okay, and then I want to expand security. Yeah, I love those hotkeys. What do you guys like the 10 a.m. Pacific tomorrow? Yeah, probably shoot for about that. Yeah, Admiral, we probably could open it up to the outdoors, but really, I don't see a huge need for it on like gates or really many of the outdoor objects. Where I love it is, and you'll see me use it probably not too long, is bathrooms. It is awesome for the bathrooms. Get security going. Oh shoot, I'm gonna open this. Okay. Do a little construction here. I'm not sure. Yeah, so if it's a wall already, I can't. Makes sense though. So anybody just joining us, if you got any questions, my name's Arthur with LV Game Dev. I'm one of the lead devs on SimAirport. If you have any questions at all, feel free to post them in the chat. We're watching. Michael's here. I'm here. I'm reading through them as I can. Although I probably should be focused more on my airport. But yeah, anything at all, ideas, really open to whatever. If you have questions about the new patch, basically everything but bugs. If you have bugs, post them somewhere else tonight. I'm gonna play for the most part. Questions for you guys. Yeah, I have lots of questions for you guys, honestly. One of my biggest questions is always, how much do you care about the visuals? That's really, I have an inner fight with myself. You guys probably can tell, looking at the visuals, the style is not always totally consistent. You know, this was on the interview with the guys the other day, but I had mentioned I don't really care too much how some of it looks sometimes, maybe to a fault. I'd be curious your thoughts on the visuals. where like it really is lacking and where you think we could get the biggest bang for buck to make improvements. Future planes. Yeah, we actually have some future planes ready. And not a ton. I think we have a general aviation. We've got I think there may be one new larger aircraft. Definitely would like to add some. One thing being worked on this cycle is airline deals and negotiations, and it's coming along pretty well. Michael's been working on that as well. He's our new rock star, if you haven't noticed. And that's kind of, once we get the airlines a little bit more shored up, I feel like that's kind of one of the big missing links right now. There's just no depth there. There's just really none. I think once we get that shored up a little bit, then we can start circling back and filling in content. That said, something else we've discussed is we don't really want to be doing a whole lot of duplication. I don't know a good way to say it even is, of, you know, filling out configuration. We'd generally rather be spending our time working on systems, the tougher stuff that really it's just not as easy to do. We want to really strengthen and focus on mods in the next like 1 to 2 cycles. I feel that mods are really the future. That's where I look at Prison Architect and I see how many mods are in the store, in the workshop, and it's like, why wouldn't we just focus on getting object mods into SimAirport, and then you guys can make all the objects you want, you know, any kind of decoration you want. So I feel similarly about Aircraft 2. That said, we have those mods now, but the system isn't real great. It's a pain in the ass. If we work on that and improve that, I think that we'd probably see more and higher quality stuff. We saw a lot towards the beginning, but over time, I know it's a little bit tedious. There's just a lot of data to manage. That said, we will definitely be adding at least a few more aircraft ourselves. I gotta get this security up and running. And yeah, I'm about to show you. Yeah, I think the community is fantastic for mods too. I'll be showing you the scheduling here in just a minute too. The staff scheduling is fantastic. It's now you can actually say it's a management game because you can manage something. You know, that's been something I hear is some critique of how much management is there, and it's been a good question. Now I think you can realistically say there's quite a bit. It's starting to feel like a real game, which is, I mean, we weren't sure we'd get there. I'm kidding, but it does. It really is starting to feel good. What was I doing? Security. One-way doors, I can actually make them reappear, and I'm aware of one bug with them that's pretty easy to fix. A large part of the reason we held off for so long is because people had enough trouble with one-way escalators and walkways, and so we were afraid if we gave you one-way doors, you would end up basically seeing the forum filled with people saying the game is broken. Which is very, very frustrating. It hurts the game because you know, we get negative reviews, and then people don't buy the game, and then it ends up meaning we can't implement as much stuff. Now that we have a tutorial, and we've got a little bit more manpower going too, I think we can realistically probably put a tutorial into, I'm not sure, Michael would have to tell me if we explain one-way stuff well enough as is. But if we do, then I think we can go ahead and add the one-way doors. We truly actually have it implemented. We just have a checkbox clicked on it that's called hidden or not, and so it's hidden. I know it's probably a little bit frustrating to hear because I know so many of you have been waiting on it for quite a while, but that's the reality. We're afraid that it would be a net negative for gameplay, basically. I think that with the tutorial, I'm hoping we see reviews go up. I'm hoping that we see players stick around longer, not get... I think we were seeing either a player was playing a whole lot or they were falling off around like 4 hours. And I think it was just kind of like not understanding some of the concepts. I just saw a post the other day, somebody in the forum had like 15, 20 hours. They didn't know that you could resize flights. And that's the kind of thing that's not their fault. That's on us for not having shown it to them. I need more workmen. Okay. More workmen, I'm told. Indeed. I was wondering why this is taking so long. You forgot to turn on instant build for me, Michael? Yeah, well, the problem with the one-ways though is, so what we're seeing tons of is basically saves sent in, and this has gotten much better as we fix the error messages a little bit better. But I think you were looking at a save, maybe Joshua was, a day or two ago. The save was fine, but there was only there was no exit, and so you get these passengers that would be stranded, they'd be stuck without a way to get back out. That's the most common thing we see. We see it quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of teaching people stuff. So, I'm getting behind on your questions. Hopefully Michael can get some of these in. I feel bad, too, we don't have Twitch covered. Give me 1 second to see if I can. See if I can get logged in over there. Got this awesome mouse where I can drag my mouse between my computers. This has probably been out for many years. I use an old mouse, but it's amazing. So I guess we don't have chat on Twitch. Oh well. So how does the underground road work? I suppose I could shoot the moon here. I'm not sure if I could or not. Not profitably, but hey. And I need to turn my overlays up. I think this is new this cycle too. You can actually change this. Although it looks to be Boolean here. It's maybe a bug. If this is the worst bug we find tonight, though, I think we're doing pretty good. Well, actually, I don't want to blow my money. I'm gonna try to make this profit. Underground roads, though, you really just you can drag them right out. And then this is going to build walls around your road. And then you can, you lay down foundation. You can put your zones underground. You can use road transition objects. road ramp up and road ramp down to go up and down. And it works very much like escalators, but with roads, and it's pretty expensive. I've seen some really cool maps, though. It also means that when you expand to the west, you can now use that land more readily, because you can go right underground. The tram system. I saw parking mentioned earlier too. Both of them are. So I thought tram system would be cool. For when we first released this game, we had so many bugs, and I kind of thought that. Well, initially I thought we'll never get all these fixed, and 2 or 3, 4 months later, we had them all fixed, and we were starting to add stuff. So we got that done. We were then starting to think about what big new stuff, and we were kind of going back and forth between trains and trams and multiple floors. And we kind of looked at it as either or. I mean, at the time, we thought multiple floors was going to be like, we thought it might take a year. I think it took 2 or 3 months. It was a long cycle. I'm not sure it was even as long as this cycle was, though. But we kind of looked at it as either or. I think I really wanted it. I'm not sure it would be the best use of time. I think it'd be cool, but realistically, we're probably not going to be seeing airports over like 10 or 15,000 passengers, and that's going to require further optimization. I'm just not sure that it's really worth the effort. There's also a lot of algorithm work to get there. I think it would be very cool, though. I'm just not sure how realistically useful it is. Am I still getting my bonuses? I missed it on day 1. Oh, and day 0's in here. That's another bug. 2 bugs so far. That's pretty good. And I'll get it today, too. So we can take a few more flights. And we're going to try to take AM flights and use the scheduling to reduce expenses. Those on B. Alright, and we can pull up the scheduling. And I'm going to create a nighttime schedule. Yeah, 17K packs right now is not playable. I mean, honestly, we get a save. You guys think it's bad for you. We open these up with debug tools, and 17,000 passengers. It's not going to be a fun time. Steve, yes, I believe you can if you go in and edit the save. I'm almost positive we actually even changed the way the UI worked a little bit to make sure that it would work for the UI. So yeah, it should work. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna make that a BL night schedule, and we'll actually make it be from here on. And then we're gonna make. Basically, nobody's going to be here during the nighttime. Maybe we'll leave one of these open, just in case we get stragglers or we forget and want to open another one. So I'm editing the night schedule right now and basically setting everything to have no staff. I left some security staff. I don't know why. There's really no reason to. Okay, and then I'm going to edit the daytime schedule and make sure, so daytime's still got 1 everywhere, and so I should be good. And I need more ID checks and probably another couple staffers then. So now you can see my staff went home, so now my money is going to be substantially better. And I forgot to hire CFO. Research. So a lower quality version for the slower systems. You know, we already, this is about as low quality as you can get. I'm kidding. I hope. Really though, we have a very, very small budget for rendering already. We don't use any of the Unity rendering stuff. Like, the whole reason to use Unity is because it lets you do all this stuff easily. And the reality is that it doesn't. It's slow. So it's great, it does it for you, but it doesn't help if it's slow. What the heck? It doesn't help if it's, I don't even know what I was saying because I just realized that I got nobody here. Got staff, so where are my staff at, Michael? Oh, I'm short on staff. Dang it. It's gonna cost me my bonus too, probably. Yeah, it really isn't going to help, though, to make... Yeah. We can't really make it any faster by cutting graphics. If we could, we would, though. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Hey, I'm learning. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Actually, I got a solid airport going. I should be accepting more flights, though, probably. Take a dash. And we could probably break into the afternoon. So, is it that easy? Last time I played, I was struggling to... Well, no, I take that back. I think I was struggling to make lots of money with the flight bonus. So that's one thing that I really see. I would like to push people more towards the flight bonus. I like the way it kind of gamifies it. It really puts a bullseye on efficiency. I also personally, it's like a thrill for me. It's also very frustrating when you miss it. The pricing is, airline pricing stuff is about to get flipped on its head pretty good, probably. It's going to be a totally different kind of system. Hopefully it is going to be a good bit harder. Yeah, I hit it. I don't see it lasting too long, that it's too easy, but we also, it's really tough. When we first launched, it was too easy too. We made it harder, and then people were really upset. So, you know, I think that's just how it goes. So I gotta get passenger satisfaction up to get some flights too. And I'm probably gonna need one of these bad boys. Okay, so this is where I should be pretty good at this game, I would think. Yeah, okay. So it doesn't do anything. I just want to make sure that works. Yeah, once you figure out the pattern. Yeah, water is something I too would really like to see. Really the toughest thing. I've played with it a little bit, just kind of for fun to see if it can make it look good. I want it to look pretty good. I know I don't really care about looks. For some reason, it's like a challenge to me when it comes to something like water because it's a little bit more algorithmic. I'd like it to look pretty nice. I think water is a very good one though. Seating. How many trash? How am I doing so far? Is this a bad airport? Decent? Steam's quiet too. For everybody watching, I'm Arthur. If you just joined us, just kind of playing. If you have any questions at all, if you have ideas, basically anything other than bugs. We're not doing bugs tonight. Just kind of playing the game and chatting. But if you have any questions for us at all, I'm more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to try to not make myself look foolish by building a decent airport. With ray trace light, yeah. Actually, I was playing with something like that not too long ago. Just as a nerd thing. And I was actually shocked at how poorly it performed by itself, with literally nothing else in there. Yeah, what am I missing out on here? I need cues. I need information. What do you guys think of the new, the aircraft sprites are all new. What do you guys think of them? Personally, I think they're night and day versus the previous. I thought the previous looked almost like abstract works of art. I think that the new ones are, I think they're quite nice. They're just a lot more realistic. They're not like smoking high res or anything. Again, that's for performance reasons, but I think they're much more legitimate now. And I think it was time well spent, at least. The doors having negative impact. Oh, you know what this is? This is a new change this cycle. This is actually intended. And I notice this a lot of people's airports that get sent over. You gotta put floors under the doors, otherwise you're gonna end up with negative environment. And the default map does not come with doors by default. Under the doors. Floors under the doors. I think I said that. Okay, did I hire that? And let's get some research going. Yeah, I think we need to raise the taxes. I haven't heard anyone complain about taxes in like 3 months. That tells me that we've got the taxes set too low. Craig, behave realistically, smoothly. Are you seeing them not behave? They shouldn't ever be getting stuck or anything. I don't think I've seen a stuck aircraft in a long time. Hopefully you're seeing the same thing, or are they doing something else that you find quirky? And Vox, I'm not putting decor in my restrooms. That's a line I cannot cross. I just don't think I can bring myself to do it. These beaches. He's gotta go. Do you guys accept the beaches? I need to build. Why did I build a small gate? That wasn't the smartest. What is this? This is not good. I know exactly what it is. Oh, we fixed this though. Oh yeah, Craig, that's been fixed a long time ago now, like I think 6 months ago or so. We totally redid aircraft pathfinding. You should never see a stuck aircraft ever again. I have not seen a save with a stuck aircraft in, 6 months. It doesn't happen. It's perfect. It's truly perfect pathfinding. The passengers I cannot say the same for. They just waited all night for security. I could have sworn we fixed that. And that means I missed the bonus severely because I don't have enough metal detectors. Could have sworn we fixed that. And 3 more stuff. Get rid of this because why did I build this? Somebody should have been looking out for me. Nah, what happened? What happened here is it became unstaffed overnight, and these guys waited. And it's definitely a bug. What I need to do is make sure that I've got my daytime schedule later on, so that if the flight's running late and there are still passengers in line, these guys are getting serviced. Body scanners over metal detectors. It keeps your airport more secure. Actually, that's not true. There's no advantage. They're identical right now. Literally the exact same code. So yeah. Absolutely zero reason to use one over the other. I personally think the body scanners look prettier. They really should be exact same amount of time to, the body scanner might be slightly longer because it's got a little bit longer to walk. Otherwise, though, it's really just the price difference. Yeah, so at 11 I still have a set to pay for. Thank you. Ooh, that's unfortunately misleading right there. It's tough to see. Oh, I got stuck because those guys were there all night, huh? Yeah, really body scanners have a slight disadvantage. Well, price, but also it's slightly slower, but only because the distance to move is slightly higher. It shouldn't be that much of a difference, but I know everything I read online says you should use metal detectors, and so that's why I'm using metal detectors, is because I don't want to be the dumb one. Okay, so I'm gonna get a large gate going. See, and I'm still missing flights. It must have been the backup earlier. Oh no, it's a ticket. That's what's going on. This is like the thing I really love about this game, though, is it's just like building the game. Every time you improve one area, and that's great. That area goes great, and now you just have a bottleneck somewhere else. Building this game is exactly the same way. We make, aircraft turn around really fast, and everybody's happy for a week maybe, and then you get it all figured out, and then you realize we need more mass transit, and then the bathrooms need to get people in and out quicker, and security's not fast enough, but that's what I love about the game too. I also love that about building it, but it's the exact same thing. It's really kind of corny even how similar it is. It's also what drew me to this kind of game as a kid. Just that constant optimization feeling. Lights, yeah, duh. And I'm gonna need maintenance too. Yeah, it's funny. I'm so unfamiliar with the flight UI because we use shortcuts to auto schedule in dev. Yeah, my first thought is security and gates basically. I totally spaced lights though. And I gotta get big gates. I don't know why I built another small gate. And it's only 2x. Yeah, the downside is then I gotta build up, huh? And I guess these days it doesn't matter. I can expand south, so there's no real reason to try to do this kind of thing. Other than maybe a little bit cheaper foundation. And the aircraft paths are not going to be quite as good, but that should probably fail validation. Like that does. Yeah, I'll go with that. And then that means we got some expensive construction coming up. About like that. That's also new too, this foundation tool. That might be one of my favorite features from this cycle too. I mean, it's like, it takes the annoyance out of building foundations. You know right away this is not a good drag, and you can right click out of it. It's like, we wasted a lot of time trying to make this be smart enough. It's like, if we had just made it show you what it was gonna do, like this, I think everybody would have been a lot happier a lot sooner. Craig, they should be showing up, I believe. I think they start trying to land 20 minutes early, if I recall correctly. I believe that's what it's set to. It's varied a little bit over time, and yeah, I mean, towards the beginning, 25 minutes. I think we have it set so that they'll try for an hour now, I think. I haven't heard any complaints or reports on this. Although I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. And you're right, especially the first, like, really the first year. Aircraft were just a problem in general for the first, like, year and a half even. Until we got pathfinding fixed, it didn't really matter what we were doing with everything else around the aircraft, because half the time that they'd land on time, they might take an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to the gate, because they'd be doing that dance. In retrospect, it's actually hilarious, but in gameplay, it was infuriating. I can recall watching people stream the game when it first came out and being absolutely beside myself, thinking, yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. They will not taxi now. One idea we've had so the question from YouTube is, if no gate's available before the official arrival time, will they land and taxi and try for the gate? And the answer is no, they won't. They'll still cancel, but they won't cancel until I believe it's an hour after. They'll also try to find a fallback gate if there is one available. Yeah, it's a good point, Vox. My familiarity with the schedule is poor. I mean, really, it's very limited. I rarely work with it aside from 4 or 5 gates. Derpy, welcome. I'm kind of learning on the fly here, despite knowing this code inside and out. I would honestly say that there are better players than I here quite easily. I mean, I've seen saves from people that blow my mind. The best I've ever done on a save, I think it was in December. Maybe it was October even. I think I had perfect flight ops bonuses with 14 or 15 flights. Craig, I believe that is correct, yes. $56 gates? No, I said my record is like 16. Or is your record 56? I saw, who is it? Shoot, I know this too. The most I've seen though, I think, is 99 flights. No, I think he got to 120 maybe. 120 flights, perfect ops bonus. I find that incredible. I really have to find it. 88. Let's see. up. Come on, workers, let's go. Quite a number of bags left. Yeah, wings is kind of the way to go if you want to really scale up. At least that conceptually, that's what makes sense based on the way the AI works. Is you really kind of need wings. Hey, Mike, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Glad to know that people are enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun to work on so far. I mean, it's also been infuriating at times. But yeah, it's awesome. It's incredible that people are enjoying it. We appreciate hearing it and are glad that is the case. This is basically the game I wanted to play as a kid. Staff schedule. Thank you very much, sir. I don't even need it that late, probably, huh? Let's get an escalator going. Shoot. Let's stick with stairs. Stuck. Cool. Yeah, these idiot wall walkers too. That's annoying. It's because there's no stairs. There's no actual path. That's why. Hey, I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it, Anonymous. I really am. I think make it auto scroll, Michael. Either that or shrink these. I don't know. There's no real reason it's already snapping to 30 minutes. Why not just have remove the 0, shrink it down so that it's full. I guess I'm on 1080p. I don't know if that'll work at all resolutions. I don't know. It's very easy to miss though. Yeah, I don't have a real great answer either though. Gotta wait for it here. It's quiet over here on Steam. I see you got 17 people watching. Questions over on Steam? And I don't know how to get I know there's chat on Twitch, right? I'm not sure how to see it. So I'm sorry for those of you watching on Twitch that probably feel ignored. Just really not sure. whispers. Hey, you're very welcome, Russian. There's a way to see chat. I'm just not sure what it is. Oh shoot, that's not. That was a misclick. And now I gotta rebuild the walls. Yeah, Derpy, that's on all the branches these days. I think we released multiple floors around March last year, about a year ago, onto default. As of today, Craig, they are identical. All the branches are identical. That's why we're not taking any bug reports tonight. We're just playing. It's been, I think we went like 3 months on this cycle. Way too long. But you can blame my new baby girl in December for that. And also blame me for wanting to pack too much crap in too. But that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But yeah, as of tonight, default patch came out tonight. Really quite a good one too. In fact, I've been playing for what, an hour or so? And I've seen 2 bugs and they were minor. And yeah, I mean really, game's playing pretty well. What was I about to do? Gate agent desk. And flooring. Let's see. 187 came over. I gotta. So what do you do, Vox? You just mass accept these? I mean, you take whatever there is, and even 75 passenger. And I need to get prices changed. Although it's just gonna hurt my scores. Because I left them there all night. They spawn about 2.5 hours, 180 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, not the first time I heard that one, Craig. I know. Do you really? Consistently, Fox? Give me some big flights here. The afternoon. And the 707 takes a 150 too. Huh. So we've wanted to increase the runway requirements for quite a while. And we've been hesitant because we don't want to break people's games. And I'm not dying to write code to version so that there's different lengths required based on when your save was created. I mean, we can do it, but it's just not the prettiest. If you guys aren't familiar with this, it's like one of my favorite reports probably. Hey there, Hubbit. Mike, the baggage carousel, originally the intent was for you to actually draw the baggage carousels yourself. And we could still do it. It was not real pleasant user experience though. Which is why we kind of got away from that. I would like to see more variation though as well. I could see a couple. I'd just like to see a more realistic. I mean, not that what's there now isn't, but it is very common, especially the bigger, older airports, to see them coming out of the walls. I think like JFK, LaGuardia. Yeah, I can imagine. Scheduling is a little tedious to me even right now. Also, I got Lernyville on here, huh? I got all the flights I could want of Dash 8s. That's kind of a bug, but we'll accept it. Happy and yeah, wow, they really open up early and not the juicy flights that we want to be seeing. So, I mean, this is great takeaway though for what you're working on right now, Michael, with the airline deals and negotiations is really like, how can we make this more fluid in terms of getting the right flights to people? I'm not sure what we can do to make. Well, Vox has some ideas. Is that really the solution though, Vox? Is you want to be able to like control click and multi-select these basically and move them around? That's kind of the impression I've been getting, at least. I think you had the thread about it, yeah? Oh, you also, I know you have a different thread too, but yeah, and these bags seem permanent. Which is strange. I know there's code for that. Yeah, nothing? Yeah, nothing yet. Hello there, Point Clearius. Earth to anybody on Steam. Steam is just quiet as can be. Got 20 people watching, but nobody's talking. Surely somebody's got questions over there. If there's anything you'd like to see over there, let us know. Craig, you have an excellent night, sir. I'm probably gonna be streaming tomorrow too. Anybody that's kind of getting tired, I've probably got another good little bit of me tonight, as long as this airport doesn't go too far downhill. But stop by tomorrow. Say hi. Should be a pretty fun day. Gonna try to pack in some playtime and yeah, just kind of relax after getting this one out. So anyway, you have a very good night, sir. Right, so what am I missing here to get going? Basically, I need more flights, which is Pappy, ILS, upgrade. The correct way to place the Pappies. Well, the more correct way, perhaps. It's pretty legit, though. About the build menu. Okay, so I don't know if you heard us saying earlier. Actually, let me read your multi-select key mod. Yeah, the vertical axis. Okay. Yeah, I can see why that makes sense. Steve, thank you for not leaving me hanging over on Steam. Yeah, I think we've got like just as many over here on Steam as we do on YouTube. I don't even know how many on YouTube, but yeah, it's incredible the comment difference. I appreciate that though. Thank you very much. Okay, so the build menu, quality of life. Okay, I don't know if you heard me earlier talking about this. We had done some interview with Michael and Joshua, the two new devs, and I didn't get the editing done. I was like averaging 3 minutes of editing per minute of audio. Worse than that, probably. But we talked about it at length. We pretty much agree with the concept. There's some notable things missing. We saw. In fact, let me just alt-tab out and pull it up real quick. Okay, so first off, we love the color. I paused the game just for the moment, by the way. Love the color, like, we both. I'm a sucker for, like, pictures, just in general. I look at these pictures and I find them. Yeah, I love it. You clearly put a lot of thought into this. We really do like it. It's much appreciated. Okay, so some interesting stuff was, and I see you updated this since I looked at it like 2 hours ago. I swear. Right? We do have a subreddit. We frequent it pretty often. In fact, Joshua, the newest dev, he's been a moderator over there for a year or two. Okay, so there's some things missing, but yeah, you literally have updated this. I mean, seriously, today, not very long ago. The biggest, like, so like queues, there are no queues on here. What do you call road tools? What do you call runway tool? Are those tools to you? Are they objects? That's kind of part of what, like, I think the issue is in my mind is I'm not sure 100% that we're all thinking the same thing when we think tools. How do I say? I think there's a little bit too much on here if we were to do it just like this. I kind of, my first instinct was like a flyout menu or something that you just hover over and you can pick one of 3, and then it changes that button to be that until you fly it out again. Oh yeah, this top one I love. I also, okay, so not gonna lie, I love the color in the bottom left. We're gonna be, I just love the color icons. Why are they black and white? This is a game, not, this isn't, you know, like, you're not in trouble. You don't have to build the airport. You can, because it's a game. So we're gonna get color icons in for sure. Let's see. It's just, there's a lot here. You're on a 4K monitor here, I think, if I recall correctly. What is it? Yeah, it's 4K. On smaller res, this is gonna get pretty crowded at the bottom. It also, we had something similar like this in the original builds, and there was just a lot less features. I mean, this whole right bar wasn't there, etc. But I do like it. It's just a matter of, I don't think we can put all the tools here if we're going to include all of the tools. And then at that point, where do you put the rest? One thought, like, we look at other games a lot for this kind of thing. I would think we should look towards games with really complex UIs that have like a lot more. We don't have that many options, and see what type of style works really well. I think we could probably afford to put like 4 or 5 down here, so not far off what you've got. I don't think we could put them all. Like, I just don't think that cell gets used as much as, you know, clear. I mean, I hit the C button non-stop when I'm testing, debugging, and just playing. Let's see. One thing that became apparent, I was talking with Josh and Michael about this. We talked both of the 3 of us, probably a combined like 2 or 3, probably an hour or 2 about it, and it became apparent to me that Michael and Joshua play very different when it comes to the build menu. Like, totally different. It's really surprising. I'm a third total difference. As soon as I click it, my hands are off the mouse and I'm typing. My hands are always off the mouse for the most part to begin with, and on the keyboard. Michael, I believe you said you know where. No, Joshua said he knows where everything is. He's a navigation through the hierarchy and just straight to it muscle memory style. And I think, Michael, you said you generally search, I think. But I found it interesting that there's such differentiation there. And so I kind of wonder, like, what problem are we trying to solve? Is the main thing to me. And I think if we can outline that really well, then that kind of determines what is a terrain tool and what's like an object. And then we can figure out, I mean, it just comes down to what do we want to put down here, and then how the hell do you access the others, whatever's left over. I mean, to me, that's really all it is. Beyond that, it's kind of aesthetic, like far left, far right. You're a navigator. Ah, that's so interesting. Like, it's funny, I keep this on where when I hit this, I start typing. It's a setting in preferences. I have it off on my laptop, and every time I pull it up and I start typing and my map moves on my laptop, it drives me crazy. And so it's kind of one of those things where I feel like maybe that's a distinction. I'm not sure. I guess kind of it is all to say, I think we need to better outline what kind of the issue is, what we want to solve, and then we can define, you know, how best to, basically what needs to be on the bottom bar is really what it comes down to. Yeah, it's so funny, the navigator versus search. It is, it's incredible. I think, was it Sci-Fi or Metal Dad said the same thing. They're like, oh, I just always search. It does feel a little tedious, but I find what I want in like 3 taps. Which for me is, you know, it's quick. I'm on the keyboard already. But Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense, and I think a lot of people probably play games where their fingers are probably just on like AWSD, and they're not ready to jump in there and type. I totally get it. I think there's room for improvement. And then what you were saying, I think you said in the thread too, is we have change aversion when it comes to like the HUD, because we want to get it right once. People will, if we get it half right and then we have to make changes, some people will fall in love with what we change it to the first. And so what will happen is we'll end up with you know, upsetting people twice instead of, and making half of them happy and then upsetting them again. So it's just a matter of, yeah, let's really outline the problem and figure out what we can mostly all agree on, and then yeah, we'll definitely make the change. Let's see. I think we saw Erebron 2, passport controllers and customs. So far we've basically been modeling a US domestic airport. And yeah, I mean, that's really the gist of it. We've just been modeling a US domestic airport. That's really what I've mostly seen. I didn't used to fly international very often, and I fly even less these days, really. It's not to say we're not going to add passport international type stuff, but it just, yeah, hasn't been on the radar yet. There's been a lot of, like, more in-your-face stuff that's needed dealt with, I feel like. And we're just kind of finally past most of that, I think. Or at least, like, the bulk of it. So, I mean, we're open to it. It kind of goes hand-in-hand with one-ways, too, I think. Vox. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't want to put every tool down there, though, because, like, I'm playing in 1080p. I'm on a 4K monitor, but my streaming card doesn't handle it. So normally I play at a little bit higher res, but you can see here, I'm already halfway through. So if we had the management over here, you'd already be, you basically end up with the entire bottom bar covered. I mean, it's doable. The other option is it could be customizable, which maybe is the way to go. I don't know. At some point, I feel like we maybe over cater to like everybody. It's really hard with this game because, I mean, some people play this where they don't even get passengers. I've done it before. So it's like, I don't know, the play styles vary so much. It's a good thing. It's just, it makes it tough. Yeah, no, I follow. You're saying, so really what I'm saying is how much can we afford to put down there? And I mean, the reality is there's no real limit until it doesn't fit. So yeah, I mean, to where they are. Yeah, that's exactly case in point. Customizable. Derpy, I hope that has been since fixed, and if not, let us know on the forum. No, I'm mostly kidding, but yeah. If you know of bugs, you can let us know here, but I'm probably not going to jump into the code right now. Yeah, Anonymous, that's right. That's spot on about the tooltips. Hey, you have a very good afternoon, sir. We'll catch you a little bit later on. I thought I saw, how about you had a question up here? I think I missed. Let me see. Where did it go? Oh, and I saw, yeah. So glad you changed the name of the drinks in the kitchen. Drink machine. It really drove me crazy because we used to get all these bug reports saying the drink machine doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it's because they didn't put it in the kitchen. And finally got that fixed with a validation. Later, Michael. See, I've not been paying attention. What are these idiots doing? Father, quite early. Oh, and there's no security yet. Yeah, darn it. And Michael just left, and so he can't warn me about this. My security should be showing up any moment. There they are. Right on time. Love it. Random events. So this is a very good question. One that I kind of want to dodge. I feel less confident about random events than I did a while back. The game has gotten so much more complex already. Like, more complex beyond what I ever really dreamed it could, just by virtue of multiple floors, basically. Like, I mean, we receive saves sometimes that come with a screenshot of, like, screenshot will be an area like this big or this big. And it could take me, like, 30 minutes to find where that screenshot is. Like, in the airport. I mean, and so I don't know. I'm not as convinced that. Here's what I kind of think makes most sense. And I mean, this is all, I'm talking very casually off the cuff here. So don't be upset if I say something you don't like, or blame it on the beer. Or the big weight that came off our collective shoulders today getting the patch out. I kind of think what makes most sense at this point is kind of a light version of events. What I kind of think is almost like drunk passengers being maybe one of the most egregious. Almost more like in-terminal focused. I mean, I could see potential for, like, fires, but I don't know. How much do you simulate fires? Like, you don't want to fire every day. I'm not sold on how much gameplay value it has. I could see stuff that's a little bit more on a daily basis occurrence being more fun. And easier to combat, like to proactively prevent. I'd love to hear feedback on that, though. Yeah, my hesitation, I don't want one random event blowing stuff up when somebody works so hard on stuff, and I'm not sure how much difficulty you really need to add. Like, it's not difficult so much as, like, it's a lot of almost work, or like crafting. It almost feels more like crafting when you're building, like, some of these masterpieces we see. I would love to hear thoughts, opinions, ideas on random events. I like kind of waffle on it all the time. Derpy, I kind of like the old ones better too. We talked about it so much, and so I'll pull up a screenshot just to just to illustrate my point. I mean, they're cute, right? I mean, they're cute. Like, there is no way around it. I find them so cute. We couldn't decide who, like, I think Josh has said he would probably play with the new ones, but he didn't have a strong opinion. I think Michael said he would play with the new ones for sure. I waffled, and so we kind of landed on, if we implement the old ones again, we're going to make it a slider so that you can have 50% of each or any breakdown. So you have some percentage of the old staff, some percentage of the new agents, and some percentage of the old agents. And we can make everybody happy. You can have a blended airport of cute ones and 3D-ish realistic animated ones. That's kind of what we're thinking. I'm kidding. We're not actually gonna. Well, we might. We'll probably put in like a random thing. We probably are going to re-implement the old ones and make it an option. We've been talking about it. We may do it this cycle. Nick B, UI scaling. Yeah, UI scaling has been in the game for a long time. I shouldn't keep showing the screenshot. You guys may think that that's the new UI. But yeah, UI scaling, 50%. Oh, we got the bug. It's a hard one to reproduce. Yeah. Anonymous. That's a good point. Oh yeah, UI scaling. I think we had a UI scaling April 2017 or something. Yeah, you should be able to play no problem. If you have issues, email them to us. We can jump on them. Man, it is just so quiet. It's eerie on Steam. And over here, barely have a chance to build something. So I keep hearing these complaints about security being slow. I mean, I know this airport's not massive. Let me get some offices going so I can see some numbers. But I'm a little surprised, like, I don't have any bottlenecks. I got 3, 4, 4. With pretty solid ratings. I need a better environment. I mean, I almost feel like the security needs to be slower, or random events need to be, you know, alert, this guy needs a pat down, enhanced pat down on lane 4, and then 3 security guys go take him, and it slows down all the security. The other type of event that I always said that I thought would be really smart, without like no chance of offending anyone, or just kind of makes sense to me, is government inspections. Some kind of mechanic like that, where they try to, you know, sneak through contraband or weapons or something, whatever, and then basically find you some way of testing security, I think, without having any blood. Anyway, you guys know how I am, I think, by now. I'm scatterbrained, just kind of calling them out as I see them. Oh, but yeah, that's a good idea, filing cabinets. There are some office tweaks coming in, the airline deal stuff. The makeup of ooh, I love seeing the cops. A sucker for the pretty stuff. we have, yeah, there's some tweaks. The offices are going to matter a little bit more. The airline deals and negotiations. The airlines will actually, they'll negotiate for things like offices, dedicated exclusive gates, that kind of thing. I can't promise how perfect the negotiations are going to be at first. The theory is solid, the way we want it to work. It's a little bit tough to make. Kind of going for MMORPG style, like negotiate. I want like a real negotiation, to a degree at least, like rapid, but we'll see. It's getting there, and it should give a little bit more emphasis on offices, and also airlines will want lounges, first class and crew, and dedicated gates, like I mentioned. Oh wow, Nick B. That was a month and a few days after launch. Yeah, it's quite a different game now. It's quite a different game. Hopefully you kind of liked it back then. You should be wowed if you play it today and have that impression. By the way, don't forget, leave a review if you haven't already. I'm so tired of seeing these mixed reviews. Yeah, I agree. Objects. I mean, really, objects are cheap wins. It makes everybody happy. It looks good. It's more stuff to do. And I mean, frankly, it's cheap for us too. The art is inexpensive. I mean, relatively for the value we get out of it, and it's not very difficult to implement. It's a little boring to implement, but that's why we got more manpower. They require the random events, Derpy? Huh. And why did they do that? To basically force, to make it more difficult to grow the airport too large. Sorry, the prison. It's something we've talked about a little bit. Right now, we don't do anything fake. Like, that's not fake, but everything is like purely simulated. There's nothing really looks at like the overall. It doesn't really cheat. I mean, there's some spots where you could call like perfect knowledge cheating, but there's no like overall supervisor who's keeping everything in check. It is a good idea though. Hey there, Dylan. G. Taylor? Weather delays. There are weather delays. There's no tornadoes. Snow is, we've played with it, it's very difficult. It's really tough to make it look right in a 2D environment without having what are called normals, so you can get angled stuff. It's a little bit easier than, or doing all the art a second way, which is out of the question. I would love to see snow though. Honestly, I'm not sure that we can make it happen. Other kinds of weather though, definitely be up for it. Dylan, a demo. There is not a demo. Something we may do in the future. I don't know. I'd rather work on the game than work on a demo. I'm not sure. It's something we could actually ask Steam about if it is worth doing, I guess. I see. I know other games do like the free demo weekend and stuff. Not sure. But no, right now we don't. Sorry, I'm getting behind on my airport. Talking. You guys can tell I'm a talker. Yeah, traffic. Okay. I saw someone ask this earlier tonight too, and I started talking about something else. Okay. It's one of my biggest regrets with SimAirport is I really wish. Let's just say I know why prison architect doesn't allow you to draw roads. I mean, it's unbelievable. We've probably spent, I would guess, close to half of the dev time on vehicle, road-related stuff. Yeah, maybe like 25-30%. Still a whole lot. It took like a year after release before we had aircraft pathfinding correctly in an airport game. I mean, there's almost just no excuse for that. Vehicles still don't pathfind real well. I mean, they're okay, but they're not that smart. We've read all the research on this stuff, and there's, like, it's a really tough problem if you want to simulate it well. There's just not that many good ways to do it without chewing up performance. I don't know. Parking would be awesome. I really think we should do it. I don't want to dump a month into vehicles. Like, I'd much rather working on like the outdoor stuff, which kind of vehicles, but not really. It's mainly like construction, building. It's really just game rule modification, kind of. So I don't know. As much as I really would like to see parking, I'm not sure it's worth it. I could be convinced very easily, probably. We can do a lot of stuff in a month, though. And I'd hate to spend a month just getting parking. I'm not sure. We could also fake it, but I really have this aversion to faking stuff. Like, put down a parking garage thing, we just truck vehicles into it and make them disappear. I don't know. Let's see. A bit more plants. So, Nathaniel, we implemented Cirrus aircraft in the game, and Cessnas, and we actually built general aviation. This was like a year ago. There's actually some other cool objects too. Let's see. If I have it up, I could probably show you a couple sprites. Let's see. Somewhere. So we have some like general aviation. We had a general aviation desk, which is kind of cool. Some other like a radio station thing. There are a handful of others too, though. Well, basically, we had general aviation completely implemented, working. It wasn't fun. I don't know. I'm not sure how to explain it any different. It just wasn't that interesting. Compared to the commercial side. I don't know. We ended up basically just kind of abandoning it. It truly was not fun. Which I'm almost embarrassed to say. We put like 3 weeks into it. It's not the first time that's happened. Like, you guys would probably be pretty surprised. We write a lot of code that never sees the light of day. Yeah, I can turn the phone. We write a lot of code that never sees the light of day. But yeah, it just wasn't that fun. Maybe we didn't have a great idea with it and should try it again, but right now, probably not. Yeah, the starting road. So there was a bug that allowed you to remove it not long ago. And we patched it up just within the last like 2 or 3 weeks. We can do it, but towards the beginning of the game, when the game first released, you could actually destroy it. But we received like 3 saves a week with people that destroyed it, had no materials, or the trucks would end up, like, you'd end up with stuck, backed up traffic, and the trucks couldn't spawn. I mean, I guess we could teleport the road in or something. That's probably the way to go. Yeah, if you can't get the deliveries, just teleport the roads in. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I don't want to commit to it on the fly after a beer, but yeah, I mean, I don't like the cheating, but it'll probably work. So yeah, we could probably do that. I like the demo idea too. I mean, quite honestly, I wonder though, do the games end up getting stolen? Like, I mean, it's not. I don't know. I've been there, done that for. I'm getting old now, so like I understand all the piracy crap, but I don't know how it works these days. Do people end up just keeping the demo forever and cracking it or something? Yeah, I'll give them the sidewalk. That's a good idea. Actually, I should start building underground. I've got money again. Hotels and more transit options. So we have another transit option. We have the art done. We plan to cheat on it. It's going to be a subway, and it's going to be fairly. You basically are going to. Excuse me. You're going to basically just build the tunnel. It'll be a one-piece object that spans full map in whatever direction you place it, either vertically or horizontally. And then it'll have a station, and it'll basically be on map spawning. I mean, it's really kind of cheating. Did turning the volume down there help, Fox? I feel like my echo is increased, but maybe that's me getting tired. I don't know. A hotel. So we're probably not going to do a hotel for SimAirport. Perhaps for the next game, someday. Maybe we'll do a hotel. But yeah, probably no hotel. I think we've got enough. You know, people are yelling for, we need more depth. It's too shallow of a game. It's too shallow. And now I read the reviews and people are upset because it's like got too much depth. And I mean, I'm kind of joking. I know, like, the game's not perfect. I'm not naive. And you know, we've gotten better at it. We're still not like great at it, but you know, we see people complaining. Hopefully the tutorial helps. It takes a while for us to like really gather the complete picture of the feedback, so I'm gonna be very curious, very interested in seeing what the feedback looks like over the next month or so, even the next couple weeks, just kind of on the whole. Anonymous. Yeah, map size is max map size. I don't know when you last played, but it's quite large now. I should research that too. Yeah, I think it's something like 130,000 tiles or something like that. Is the max. Pretty big though. Shoot. I saw a question about the more plants. So I'm actually, this is a question I have for you guys. And this might come off wrong. But if it does, I hope not. Nick B, multiple floors you could build. You can go up by 2, so you get 2 floors on top, and then you get -1, -2 underground. So you get 2 on top and on bottom. You got your ground floor, total of 5. Question for you guys is, so the more plants and stuff, I think you guys probably know this, maybe don't know quite how strong my opinion is on it. I'm pretty anti-DLC, like in general, I'm not a fan. I don't really want my kids to buy a $70 game and then spend $30 on it, and I sure as hell don't want them to spend $30 a month on it. I mean, when I was a kid, you paid $20-$30 for a game, and it came with the whole game. That said, like, I mean, that is the way things are going, is all this DLC stuff. I'd be curious to hear how much hatred there would be for a big pack of basically decor or something like that. And like what you think, if you don't hate it, what would you be willing to pay for it? Or what do you think is a fair price? I personally don't like it, but I don't know. I also, you know, it's like I read comments on YouTube, people asking for it. Our artist is constantly working on something, so it's like I don't know. Is it something you're open to? I'd be really curious to hear. No DLC. Yeah, see, well, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of what I think too, Vox. I mean, to me, it's like that's really where I honestly am. Is I'd rather us make the systems available and we can work on stuff that we really enjoy. Oh, don't you worry. You will never see us do a gameplay feature that's paid. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, yeah. I'm like pretty staunchly against DLC in general. I wouldn't do a soundtrack like that either. I don't know. Yeah, Nathaniel, I mean, that's the other thing I don't know is, you know, at some point we'll have to look at this, and as sales slow down over time, I mean, that's just natural, but we won't be able to work on it forever. And so it's a thought. I personally would love to work in this game forever. Like, that'd be pretty sweet. Man, we could make an awesome, I mean, eventually it would have everything. And if we could, it's like, that's kind of where I come from when I talk about like parking, right? Is I don't want to work on parking because if it takes a month away from anything else, I mean, cargo or stuff like that I think would be more core. That's kind of where I'm coming from, and that's why I ask about like the DLC type thing. And I'm not a fan. I agree, Vox. I think mods are like clear in a way the way to go. Then you guys can like fine tune them and make them do like exactly what you want. We're not spending a bunch of time making our our objects, you know, be perfect. We'd rather work on the system and let you guys like make, you know, all these kind of crazy objects, one of each kind and that kind of thing. Nick B, you cannot. You can build your baggage claim objects. You cannot draw a baggage claim area. Fox, you have a very, very good night. Thank you for joining us. I think we'll probably wrap up in the next 10 minutes or so. I think yeah, I honestly had such a great showing. I'm fairly exhausted. I feel like I've probably been driving you guys nuts talking a million miles an hour for the last 2 or 3 hours now. But yeah, I think we'll give it a 10 or 15, and then I think we'll plan to resume in about 9 hours or so tomorrow, and I'm gonna play all day tomorrow. I may draw up a little bit of a plan for my airport so I can stay focused, but Anonymous, yeah, as a kid, I mean, every game came out with, you know, Sim whatever 1, then 2, then 5, and I didn't adore that either. It was better than DLC though, but I can't stand one of my favorite games, still to this day, one of the only games I used to play until 3 years ago or so, was Madden. I bought Madden every year. I'm a football fan, and I enjoy playing a competitive game. Good night. And I hate what they did with that. You know, you buy it every year. I think it's a travesty. So I don't know about that. Foundations replacing hangers. I'm not sure. I want to say yes, but I also don't want to have another 3-month cycle. It's tough on me. It's tough on everybody. The last week or 2 of a cycle is brutal. It really is. Everybody's antsy. Point. Probably gonna stream at, let's see, 10 a.m. Pacific. So if I can do that. Yeah, I'm terrible with 10 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, isn't that, honestly, Derpy, it's incredible to me. It's incredible to me that it's been 2 years. Like, it really is. And I don't know if you guys all know this, but this is our first game. We were doing web stuff. We were sick of it. It's kind of boring and repetitive. Everybody wants a website, and they all want to, you know, create records, update them, delete them. It's just all the same. We're like, a game will be fun. And so we're like, okay, we can do that. We've been doing this for years, and no, it's 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. Pacific, not p.m. So like literally in 9 hours. We were like, a game will be fun. We could do this, and it turns out it's really hard. But we've been developing stuff for a long time, so it was achievable, but a little bit harder than we anticipated, perhaps. Good morning. Yeah, that sounds right, I think. Well, I'm sure it is. Sure you know better than me, Nick B. Still didn't get an offices. I got that fixed though. My environment's still terrible. Yeah, Google's told. Google tells me a lot of things too. Paint a picture of your average player. Yeah, I still like the green light trailer. Although it's a disgusting looking game. I mean, I cannot help but pull up like some of these old screenshots, and I mean, it's just gross. Oh. I mean, first off, you can't land expand. Maybe you could in this screenshot. I don't know. But, I mean, look at the UI. Look at this grass. Like, even the gates. The queues. And this map is probably using almost every object there is in the game. Like, there weren't that many objects. It's, yeah, it's a trip down memory lane. You know, I kind of was considering today. I thought it would be a real trip to pull up. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, I'm in game. Bummer. To pull up one of the old versions, one of the archive versions, and like play the release day version, and just see like how different it is. I mean, it would probably be a little bit mind blowing, I think. Although on that note, it wouldn't be bad to see the green light trailer. Although I like our new trailer too. I think our trailer's solid. Not amazing, but. Let's see, day 14, not bad. I had a bunch of missed flights early. I had 130. Must be net revenues. Yeah, so any other questions for me? Sorry, I'm kind of slowing down here a little bit. It is going on 1 a.m., which is actually early for me here lately. Just gonna take a quick look at the forum and see if there was anything that might have sparked some discussion. Talked about this. And yeah, Fox and Fox was talking about this. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have questions for me though. Oh, that's right, there's a time change too, so when is the time change? 2 a.m.? Yeah, that's a good question. I really kind of skipped over the next cycle. I'm gonna double check the time too. Yeah, it's showing me 6 p.m. But it may be 5 p.m., huh? Because of the time change. Yeah. So, actually, I've got if you want to check this out, I can talk while you guys kind of watch this. Totally forgot. So, hopefully, can you see that? I think. This is a pre-recorded video, but basically this scenario editor. I'm just playing the video, so you guys can check it out. I'm actually really kind of excited about this feature. It's ready for Edge. We could probably have shipped it tonight, but we'll probably wait till Monday. Just take a day off. I'm gonna personally play SimAirport mostly tomorrow. It's kind of cool though. You can load up basically any existing save or a new game. You can give it a scenario name, set all the starting info that you're seeing up there on the screen. Objectives, lose conditions, and unlockables, and you'll see more of this. But then you can upload it and basically share them on the workshop. And this is literally ready to go. It's pretty sweet. The only downside with it right now, like the only thing that's not what you might see in your head, is you can't actually make edits to the map without like building it in a save. You have to build an airport in like career mode or sandbox mode, and then you can load it up in the scenario editor and add objectives and save it as a scenario. Other than that, though, I mean, it's legit scenario editor. I'm actually really excited about it. I'm kind of looking forward to. I think this is the kind of thing that'll make the game fun for me. Because, it's like, I mean, the game's fun for me, but not in the way like it would be if I hadn't made it. I think this will make it fun because I'll be able to open stuff up that's got a really unique challenge that, yeah. I've seen people playing City Skylines type scenarios a ton. It looks really intriguing. Adds like a competitive air to it, and yeah, I'm kind of pumped about it. So, yeah, you can see these are just this, like I said, pre-recorded video, but it's pretty solid. Michael put this together, and it's ready for Edge. And it will be, yeah, my guess would be Monday, but don't hold me to it. I haven't tested it a ton, but I think it's ready. We set this up to be mod friendly too, so we've got to add a little bit of code so that you can import your own code, but once you're able to do that, which should be pretty simple, then you'll be able to pretty easily add, you have to have some idea of code, but it'd be pretty easy to add your own totally custom objectives, custom lose conditions. I don't even recall what the unlockables are. These, yeah, it'd be doable, but you'd need to be able to add custom stuff there to begin with. So, but the objectives and the lose conditions are all mod friendly already, and then of course you'll actually be able to upload the scenario itself to the workshop and download other people's scenarios and play them. And yeah, this should, I can guarantee this hits Edge next week. I don't know exactly when, but my guess is early in the week. Last I heard, it's fully functional. I would almost guarantee it's early. That hopefully that's kind of a cool thing, something looking forward to. I know it's maybe not exactly like the gameplay type stuff that you guys are used to us putting out, but I think it's pretty neat. So that's the scenario editor. I think that's the entire video. Oh no. Yeah, I think it's looping. Maybe not. No, he's actually playing it. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't tested this whole bunch. I really barely at all. I think it looks fantastic too. Yeah, I don't know what he's building here, but like I said, this is pre-recorded for the little scenario editor segment. Good luck, though. So anyway, I will shut that back off. That is one of the main things. One of the goals this cycle is to keep me reined in. I'm definitely bad about like I want to tackle stuff. I like to face stuff head on. That's why the last week or two of a cycle is really a little bit brutal. Sometimes we'll see bugs or just typically bugs that we want to solve, and we want to solve them the right way. And the reality is the last week or two of a cycle generally just can't. You kind of have to keep yourself reeled in. Otherwise, you really run the risk of introducing new or worse bugs right at the end. And I mean, I'm sure if you've been playing for very long at all, I'm sure you've seen me do exactly this before, or push us into that situation. So we're going to try to avoid that this cycle and try to keep it pretty concise, and not so much. We'll still do plenty of breadth, but we're going to try not to just keep piling it on. I want to get scenario editor to Edge. It's ready. Bus stops, it's not quite near the same level yet. Airline deals getting close. With airline deals, hopefully we're going to get the EAMs in there, at least in some level of them. The clear tool we're going to get in. I'm thinking we probably will push the hangar concept to the next cycle, and like an ideal world here, we'd end up with like a 3-week cycle on the dot. I think it's just better for everybody. It's less stress for us. It's keeps us from looking like we're dead, and it's a real concern. I mean, as the updates, if they slow down, even if we pack a ton of stuff in and all else is equal, it looks to the new player, the person that's just browsing Steam, that it's not as updated, and you get fewer sales being shorter lifetime of the game, etc. So it's a balancing act, but our goal is really to try to keep this one short. I said that last cycle too, but yeah, I didn't realize the second kid would be quite so damn time consuming. Yeah. Let's see. Any other? Nick B, no, you shouldn't be seeing anybody. Any roads. Vehicles shouldn't be getting confused like that. The game is really, I mean, it's market difference from what it was 2 years ago. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. The difference that it is. It's really. I would strong. In fact, I may do that as soon as the stream ends. I may jump on one of the default, the archived builds, just to check it out. Bus stops and bus routes should be in the next cycle. It's over 50% finished. Just it needs a little bit more polish. There's probably going to be some edge cases too. It's more complex than it seems at first glance, and we knew it was fairly complex. It's more complex than that, though. And then, to be quite honest, there's one other that I really want to slip in here, because I don't think, I think it'll just work, and that's one-way doors. But probably don't tell Michael or Joshua that yet. Generally, over the next, so here's kind of the overall plan, though. Over the next, like, 3 to 4, 5, 6 months even, the goal is to focus on mods. We need probably about a month worth of work to get custom objects in, and mainly that's custom sprites in general, support for that, support for custom code, which is fairly straightforward. The hardest part is converting our object configurations over to a mod-friendly system. They're very close. We did a lot of legwork for it, but it'll be like probably a 3-week project to make sure we do it in a way it's kind of an all or nothing thing. It has to be perfect. If it's not, then you get broken objects. We're going to really be putting a focus on that, though. A lot of the requests we hear, and I mean, you guys saw it too, is there's stuff that we could do, but we'd really rather put the foundation in place and let you guys work on them. Like, let you guys, put together exactly what you want to see, instead of us building 40 different decorations. Not that we don't, it's not stupid or anything. It's just a matter of trying to give you guys the best bang for your buck, basically. Let us focus on the stuff that you really wouldn't be able to do, even with support. And then, yeah, I mean, we'll definitely add some stuff in like that for sure still, but our focus is definitely going to be trying to get replayability type supporting features, supporting cast for the long term. That's correct, Derby. Derby EAM. It's also, there's some realism about it too. Many airports don't. Many airports don't have very many flights overnight. Even big metro airports, for usually noise-related reasons, or they'll have different approaches at night. There's a few gameplay reasons to do it too. I won't bore you guys. I'm probably really boring you guys at this point, but it's coming. We actually, that UI and the whole system actually does a lot more than it already looks like. Like, we can give you a flight that has only a required departure time instead of no arrival time requirement. We could even offer you a flight that has both an arrival and a departure requirement that are different or the same. It can do a lot of different things like that. It's really just a matter of how to intelligently offer those to you, or, you know, in a way that's not creating more tedium. Because, as was already talked about a little bit tonight, the flight schedule UI, it is a little tedious. It was tedious for me, even with, I only got like 15, 20 flights going. Yeah, something like that, 4 or 5. 16 flights. And it began to feel tedious for me. So it's like, if we start giving you a whole bunch more flights or making these have even more requirements, what's that gonna do? And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the answer is there. I don't like, I mean, we have some auto scheduling stuff, but it's semi-optimal actually, but it just takes away a lot of the game. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Nick B, the UI was redone about 1.5 years ago, I think. Yeah, it's probably about right. The first year, I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't think we slept. We put, I mean, intersecting runways, we got multiple floors out in a year. Maybe just slightly over a year. We had local, like, we got this out in April last year. Localization support. New UI. Moving walkways were out. Yeah, it's like that. We did a lot in the first year. The second year, we did a lot. It's a little bit different type stuff. Not quite as wham bam in your face, ma'am. But there's a whole lot there. How little space the game takes up. I think it's what is it? I make the builds. I think it's like 2 gigs. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit short of that. Something along there. Your own starting guide via scenario. Well, I showed kind of exactly what the scenarios look like, but you could set up. Yeah, I think you could type in text and everything. And that's just the first implementation. We'll, like we do with everything, it'll go on to Edge. We'll get feedback and bug reports. We'll iterate on it and make changes. And especially features that come out early in the cycle like this, we really have much better opportunity to really take the feedback and run with it. There were a couple things that came out a little bit late in the cycle, this last cycle, for today's default, that we tried to get the feedback in, but it wasn't exactly how we maybe wanted to always do it. Although I think we got most of it in. Oh, good. I'm glad you saw the newest. I think the newest one is quite good. It might be my favorite. There's something about there's one part of the green light trailer that I adore. very geeky of me. It's when the cues, I don't even like that kind of music, honestly. I thought when I first saw the Greenlight trailer, I was disappointed. It's not my kind of trailer. And it convinced me. And I was convinced from our own team. And I did, though. The cues, when the cues go up and down, left or right, that part I just loved. Yeah, the time lapse being the most viewed still boggles my mind. So weird. It's almost disappointing because the time lapse is so out of date. Plane Spotter Logan. Unfortunately, it is probably fairly unlikely we will port this game to iPad or tablets. It's not going to run on a tablet. We will probably consider consoles though. Yeah, it's so weird to me, Derpy. I don't know why. It's not even like particularly interesting in my mind. But what do I know too? I find some interesting things interesting. Alright guys, gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody that's been watching and really that's been playing the game, that's supporting us. Thank you very much for showing up. Honestly, I'm very humbled by how many people came and watched and are interested. It's really appreciated. The support is fantastic. Cargo time frame. Not off the top of my head. Honestly, it's probably, I mean, this sounds stupid, but it's kind of one of those things that it'll probably get slipped in at some point. It's not a huge project. It's got a lot of long little tails, for lack of a better term. Like, it'll be something where we get a minimum viable in pretty quick as I got bored, I really wanted this type thing, and then it'll take a week or two to improve. But yeah, thank you guys very much. I'm going to sign off. We are going to be shooting to get back on the stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific daylight time, I suppose. It'll be daylight time. Yeah, it'll be daylight time. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys. If not, thank you again for dropping by. If you haven't already, please, my usual spiel, please consider leaving us a review on Steam. Huge way to support the game, support us. We love the game. We want to work on it forever. Reviews really do help us achieve that end. And yeah, thank you guys. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the forum, and happy to answer them. Otherwise, we'll hopefully see some of you guys at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It's Sunday, yeah, about 9 hours from now, somewhere in there, we'll be on here. We expect should be a pretty good day tomorrow. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. You guys all have a wonderful, wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, depending on which side you're on. Good night, everybody. Thank you.